Listen, who wants to hear some poetry? Listen, we've got the one and only Dee in the building. Dee Majek. Round of applause, guys.
Good afternoon. My name is Dee Majek. I'm going to share a few stories from my forthcoming book, 3,000 Miles from Home. Every journey begins with a first step. From the familiar warmth of home to the cold embrace of new beginnings. This is the story of my arrival, 3,000 miles from home. The stories my mother and father never told me. My father bought into this colonial belief that the only mould for a child was the mark of the best of British, that was cast in stone by the denial at the roots of my right to access my language. That became a secret code only spoken between my mother and father. 3,000 miles from home, these are the stories my mother and father never told me. What does being Nigerian look like or feel like? The richness of the culture, the joy and the resonating sounds of the dialect, the roots and the texture of the food, the hypnotic beat of the music, and the colourful swagger of the clothes. Now I've come full circle, under the cover of my duality, to redress my dirty laundry of all these negative thoughts, even about the breadth of my name. I fill in the gaps of my heritage to bring to light my spin, to tell these untold tales about an immigrant child growing up in Greater London, raised up on British culture, to inspire those who carry their ancestral load in head luggage filled with mixed up emotions and connotations about immigrants and people of movement. 3,000 miles from home, these are the stories my mother and father never told me. My father wore suits. Clothes that wearers wear tell the stories more than the makers themselves. My father wore suits with a swagger against a backdrop of the 50s, to the noughties, to the in-betweenies and the teenies that defined the flow and the sounds of these clothes against this beautiful background of skin tone that shone with confidence, that exudes with elegance, that made him stand out regally from the in-crowd. Regardless of the weather or the occasion, my father wore suits. My father wore suits, mirrored in precision, like royal at the highest level. He walked the walk, he talked the talk, cut to fit, in a path of excellence, the epitome of duality, the perfect Afro-English gentleman. A catwalk oozed in confidence that could charm the charmer and assimilate into any society or tea party. His suit was his mental armour, his shield, his soul protector, that no sus law could disrespect. The sight of his suit kept Mr. Policeman in check, because my father wore suits. My father wore suits, ingrained into his authentic self, fastened beauty of identity. Onlookers would comment they love his nostalgia, his je ne sais quoi. His suit was the keeper of respectability, the silent revolutionary from Nigeria to England, into Spain and onwards to South Africa. My father wore suits. Even on his deathbed, his suits are now his legacy that hangs pristinely on the silver reins behind my cupboard wall door, because my father wore suits. My father, Josiah Olufemi Oluyomi Adise Majekodemi, would have been 100 on the 6th of September. He chose the name Josiah at the age of 12, a name which resonated with him, as in the Bible. Josiah was the king of Israel who found favour with God and was humble and full of wisdom. I danced with my father. I danced with my father on these concrete floors in Surallier, where my brothers and I would lower mirrors from the side and watch my father and his friends doing the latest Lagos rump shaker, then sneak down like early morning imitators to feast on half-finished cigars and cigarette butts, spirits and beers, knowing, just like the beat of the hanging talking drums, if we got caught, it would all end up in tears. I danced with my father when my brother Scholler ski jumped from the top of the bedroom cupboard and missed the bed like Superman on kryptonite after we played pyrotechnics with stolen red-top matchboxes and set our beds alight. I danced with my father as he laughed out loud from the veranda on the day we ran for our lives, chased by the masked man on stilts, shouting, "Juju man!" But his smiles turned into the rage of gunshots and shouts of "Ole!" The knives the thieves broke in and poisoned our beloved dog Charlie. But like a superhero, Dad was there to protect us as we chased them, firing with our pistols with Blackie and Drake in tow. As in the morning, we retraced the battle with our pop guns in khaki shorts, playing catch me and shoot me up in the gardens of Ajay Street, where we fought regularly snakes, poisonous rats and lizards with flinted stones and homemade bows. I danced with my father the night we received our blessing before leaving the palatial summer of Lagos to wake up to the harsh reality of a box house trapped in the winter wonderlands of the countryside of Kent, filled with several feet of white snow and the face of my mother's discontent. In truth, as we entered, all I ever wanted to do was go back home. I danced with my father for a few hours before he passed away. Eyes wide shut, he said, of my beloved daughter Yana. She doesn't know me, you know. But Dad, I know you. I will always remember you. I danced with my father on the streets of Surallier. I danced with my father on the streets of Surallier. Now I'm not going to dance with my father no more. Now I'm not going to dance with my father no more. We are all gifted. I'm gifted beyond my wildest dreams. I'm gifted for all the world to see, the gift that I have inside of me. I give myself permission to say, I'm gifted, I'm gifted, I'm gifted, I'm gifted. Thank you.